I'm Gavin, and this is MLS Fantasy Picks. Welcome back. Before we get into round 27 picks, here's a quick round 26 recap. A good week. I ended with 111 points for round 26. I had a week rank of 730, and my overall rank is now 18. My budget increased from 190.6 million to 194.1 million. Also looking at Champions League, I'm currently in 61st out of 200, 26 points out of first. With a huge double game week coming up, a lot could change. So what went right for the week? Well, I'm glad that I swapped in Messi after seeing that he was starting, and a good amount of my switcheroos hit. I had Takaoka coming up with 7, Alba with 8. But other than that, I did miss the mark on the Messi captain. So what went wrong? Definitely not captaining Messi. I was definitely glad I started him, but I wasn't sure, how much he was going to play. I guess since he was starting, you could assume he's got the 90. Good to know Messi is back into the MLS fantasy game. Also, starting Lennon. I'm not sure why I thought all of a sudden it was a good idea to start Lennon. Probably should have, put Jordy in that spot anyways. But yeah, overall, to still finish, with 111 for the week. Pretty pleased with it, not capping Messi. And looking at the MLS Fantasy Picks Open League, shout out to It's Not Gonna Get Messy with a huge 139 points. The Orlando plays, captain on Messi, and solid clean sheets all around really helped out your score. And looking at our head-to-head league, I'm still only up by 2 points above Tay and Miko. Excited to see how the season ends. So key considerations for the round, this is going to be a huge double game week. I only think like 3 teams have single game weeks this week. Saying that, we've got no teams on bye. I'll just be looking at some players. I usually do an auto-roo when it comes to double game weeks. So I'll probably look at like Barrial and Damian Lowe for my scrub defenders. And then injuries, reds and yellows. As always, check out that disciplinary summary that MLS releases before the beginning of each game week. I feel like the one player that I saw to keep a lookout for is Evander. I think Evander's got a yellow card watch this week. So if he picks up the yellow in that first game, he will miss the second. So I still like Evander, but maybe a bench play. All right, let's get into picks. So getting started with goalkeepers, I honestly didn't like a lot of the matchups based on, timing. So at least for a double game week keeperoo, I like a Schulte into a Lloris. So Schulte's got Toronto. I know they're away, but Columbus's defense is pretty legit. And then that way you can see, did he keep the clean sheet? Or you could transfer over to Lloris, who has a decent matchup against Austin and then away at Dallas. So that's all I really liked for keepers. Let me know in the comments if you saw any good matchups as well. Moving on to defenders. As I said, I'm going to be doing an auto-roo this week, so only be starting 3 defenders, most likely with the attacking upside. So defenders that I do like, your Alba, your Gressel from Miami, they are double away, but hey, Messi's back. They're looking good. So I've got Alba there. I've also got Camacho, just due to, Columbus's strong defense with some decent matchups. They are away for the first Toronto matchup, but I feel like Camacho is set to get 90 minutes usually both games, even though I would like a Farzi or a Morera. Just for their attacking upside, it's hard to tell with, who's going to be playing, as Nadsé likes to rotate, so I like Camacho there. And then Thorhalson's been doing pretty well, and they have some decent matchups. Not so much Columbus, but that good first matchup against Charlotte, and he's a bit on the attacking side. If you want to go with some safer floors, I also like Thiago Martins, as New York City have 2 home games, and he's known to at least get a 3 or 4 each game. And then same goes for Mikael from Houston. Some good matchups with Vancouver and Austin, and yeah, he's set to have a decent defensive floor. And as I said, for defensive scrubs, if you're looking to do a switcheroo or an auto-roo rather, Barrial from Cincinnati, I believe he's been moved out to, I think it's Liga MX, and then Lowe is now playing overseas. I forget exactly where, but he's no longer with the Union, so 2 safe scrubs in your defense. So still, I feel like there's a lot of good matchups and midfield options this week. So for midfielders that I like Mihailovic with Colorado. He looked great last week, and he's got some good matchups against Colorado and SKC. Should definitely be on your team. I was not so high on Bogusz the last few weeks, but it looks like he did pick up a goal. So he's got, a good matchup with Austin and Dallas. So I definitely like Bogusz this week. Puig absolutely crushed it in El Trafico last week, so I think he'll be in good form playing Portland and Vancouver. I like those matchups, split home and away. Hani most likely will be a bench play for me, as Nashville is not the same as they used to be, but they do have double homes, so good benefit there. And they're playing Chicago, another little boost. And as I said earlier, Evander is on yellow card watch, I believe, so he'll probably be on the bench for me. But I like his matchups with Portland or with LA in Real Salt Lake. Some other guys not pictured here. Carlos Heel. I feel like New England is doing pretty good recently, and they have a decent, some decent matchups there, split home and away. And then Lucho. He was on my bench last week, and I'm glad I left him there. He hasn't been doing super great in fantasy as of late, and they are double away, so I'm not huge on Lucho, but he's an option. And then Santi Rodriguez also might be, Santi from NYCFC, also might be on yellow card watch, and he's got a double home. So yeah, plenty of good matchups this week and looks for midfielders. And looking at our strikers, it was fun while it lasted, but Messi is back, and that means he needs to be in your team. I was kicking myself for not captaining him. I guess I just forgot that he was one of the greatest players of all time, even though his ankle was super swollen pretty recently. Still looking great out there, so Messi is definitely on my team, even though they are double away with Atlanta and New York City. As always, though, who knows if he'll play with the turf in Atlanta? Just keep an eye out for matchups. There's still plenty of good options for a striker. And even if he's not starting, he'll probably need a spot on your bench because he's Messi. Cucho, I still like this week. I know he hasn't been absolutely dominating in fantasy as of late, but he's still a great look every week. They're against Toronto and Orlando. Great matchups. I like Cucho this week. Same goes, Suarez. He's got Messi back. He's still doing fantastic. I think he's a great option at striker this week. Another one to look for is Bouanga. So LAFC versus Austin and Dallas. I think he's a great look. And then last one that I'd recommend probably is Jovic from LA Galaxy, or whoever is starting up top for the Galaxy. They are firing on all cylinders on the attack. And finishing off with captains, you got to go Messi. If he's starting that first game, I will be captaining Messi. Other options as well, you got Ricky Puig and Cucho. So that wraps everything up. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope this was helpful. Hope you're doing well at the end here of the season. It's going to be a huge double game week, so be sure to get your team set. And those in the Champions League, best of luck. I'm sure there will be a lot of movement in the table this week since it's a double game week and there's plenty of options, not too much talk. Besides Messi, of course. All right, thanks everyone. Good luck.